Hello everyone, Jonathan Pulley here with West Coast Weather. Today is September 22nd, and today is the first day of fall, everyone. And it looks like we're heading into fall with the satellite imagery right here. We got a pretty potent atmospheric river that is taking aim at the northern BC coast and also southeastern Alaska in that panhandle region. This atmospheric river will mainly stay north of the Pacific Northwest, but parts of Vancouver Island and some just north of the Sunshine Coast over in southwest BC will get some rain. There's going to be some isolated showers over the next day or so for parts of Western Washington and the Vancouver, BC area. Most of the rest of the region should be dry until we get towards the Wednesday to Thursday timeframe, once the jet stream starts getting really strong over the Gulf of Alaska. A sharp trough will dig out of Alaska and bring a storm system right into our region, but there's a lot of disagreement exactly where it's going to go. Some models have it come up towards Haida, bring a cold front down through the Washington, Oregon, Southwest BC. Some other models also bring it a little farther south with the low pressure hitting part like Vancouver Island area. Even some models have had it even a little farther south than that, which would bring potential for even some strong winds to the parts of the area as well, and heavier rain. So definitely an exciting period of weather potentially coming up. Our first storm of the season potentially as well. So I hope everybody's having a great day, and let's get right into the forecast. Now we're looking at general trough and ridge positions on the European model. This is last night's run, as this morning's run hasn't fully updated yet. So we're just gonna have to work with this. So right now we got general ridging over much of the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast. But we do have a trough that is starting to move in the northern BC and southeastern Alaska. This is aiming a powerful atmospheric river as this moisture parallels in between this ridge that starts building in later tomorrow, Monday. This will feed that moisture right into the northern BC coastline and southeastern Alaska panhandle through the next few days. It's going to bring some very heavy rainfall to parts of the mountains up there and also some of the coastlines. Mainly, we're going to be dry down here for the next few days, though some showers may try to clip the region as that trough moves through northern BC. But we look to warm up on Monday and Tuesday for much of the West Coast as that ridge builds in. But quickly on its heels, we get this very deep trough, a trough we haven't had like this in probably since springtime. And this will bring some rain and potential for some storm systems to start moving through the region. This starts to build in Wednesday morning, and a weak frontal system looks to move through during the Wednesday timeframe, kind of a remnant of that atmospheric river that was going into BC for the prior days before this. And as we start heading into Thursday, however, watch this storm system that forms right here. You can kind of see it showing up right on the northern Vancouver Island coastline. And models have been all over the place with this system, as this system is originating from a tropical system over in the West Pacific. That system is actually, this eventual system is actually just coming off the Japan coastline right now. So we still have a lot of time before it reaches us. But models are all over the place. Some models bring it up towards Haida and north of Haida. Some other models, like last night's European model, bring it right into the Vancouver Island area. And if we look at the sea level pressure, we can see the actual storm system right here. Watch it. It's this storm system right down here, and it flows right in and strengthens down to a 987 millibar low, which is pretty strong. And even some models are showing even down to a 970 millibar low potentially if it goes farther north. But this will bring a frontal system, rain, and gusty winds to the parts of the region wherever it tracks. But the farther south it goes, the stronger the winds will likely be for populated areas across Seattle and potentially even Portland as well, though they are pretty far south for this system. Now, zooming out, I want to show you guys a wider look at this storm system. We can actually see it right on the coastline coming off of Japan. This is Japan right here. We got Alaska up here. We got British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, and California kind of off the screen a little bit as I'm trying to display. This is this morning's kind of very early morning European model run. This is last night's, and so this is what they're changing up in each of these runs. So our storm system kind of glides off the coastline, comes up over this ridge that's north of Hawaii. And as this system starts approaching the Gulf of Alaska, you can see how this morning's run is much stronger initially with the storm system, but last night's keeps it a little weaker and farther south. So around this part of the world, a stronger storm system tends to go farther north, and a weaker storm system tends to trend farther south. As that's just how it's a kind of a very complicated process, but that's generally how it works out. So the this morning's run had a stronger initial system with a 987 millibar low already in the Gulf of Alaska. And this eventually brings up towards Haida, but this weaker storm system on last night's European model, as we saw, it goes down over in the Vancouver Islands. So the weaker the storm system is initially, the stronger the storm we're going to get here in the Pacific Northwest. So this is the thing I'm going to be keeping an eye on over the next few days. And if it looks like it's going to continue trending towards a stronger solution and a more windstorm-like solution for the Pacific Northwest, I'll do another video in the next couple days ironing out those details. Now looking at a closer look at things, here's British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, California. This is looking at 6-hour precipitation type in inches and also sea level pressure in millibars. You can see our atmospheric river already taking aim at the central and northern BC coastline. This kind of glides down a little south over later this evening, maybe bring some isolated showers, as you can see with this light green kind of mixing into the northwest Washington area, like Island County, San Juan County, Whatcom, Skagit counties, kind of. But generally, those will be very light showers and may not even happen at all. We look to dry up mostly by later on Monday. As we go through Tuesday, temperatures will warm up as that ridge builds in with some 70s and 80s potentially for parts of the Pacific Northwest. Then on Wednesday, there's that weak frontal system, kind of the remnants of that atmospheric river that was going in the British Columbia. This will bring some widespread rain on Wednesday. It's been uptrending on models, I've noticed, and this will bring a good bit of rain all the way through Wednesday evening, potentially maybe even a weak convergence zone behind that. But our main weather maker that I'm going to be keeping an eye on over the next couple days comes in right on its heels, bringing another round of rainfall. This will also bring some gusty winds. As you can see, those pressure bars are very close. The closer they are, that means there's tighter the pressure gradient, and that means there's going to be stronger winds there. So the farther south this goes, the closer those tight those millibars are going to be over our region and would generate stronger winds. But for right now, generally, we're looking at maybe a breezy to gusty winds over parts of Western Washington, Southwest British Columbia, but there is models still showing the potential for that windstorm scenario. So before models all start not showing that or showing it, we're not going to know exactly what's going to happen. After that frontal system, after that storm moves through, a cold front will move through with some instability behind it later on Friday. That storm system moves through early on Thursday. There's going to be potential for maybe some thunderstorms in the Cascades and over this Puget Sound convergence zone. As you can see, this little bar of precipitation, this is showing those westerly winds wrapping around the Olympic Mountains and creating convergence over the Puget Sound. So that will bring potential for some thunderstorms as we go through later on Friday. And that looks to die off mostly by Saturday morning, and we look to dry out after that. Models kind of disagree after that past the 7-day period, so I'm not really go into much detail past then. Now looking at the European ensemble mean, this is the average of 50 different ensemble members that the European model runs, and this kind of gives us a general idea of how the forecast may pan out. And you can see that generally from the total precipitation over the next 7 days looks to be generally pretty good over parts of the mountain region. You can see our atmospheric river bring over 10 to 12 inches of rain in the parts of the mountains and coastline up there. Very heavy rainfall, but very beneficial. So a lot of this rain is making it into the burn scar areas of parts of the interior BC locations. Hopefully that quenches the rest of the fires up there. Generally looking like maybe a couple inches of rainfall potentially for parts of the Washington Cascades and Olympic Mountains, maybe up towards a half an inch of rainfall for Seattle. This is an average of all the model runs, so these totals will likely be lower or higher than this amount, but this kind of gives us a good general idea. Looking like maybe towards Portland, lighter rainfall. But if that storm system trends farther south, we're going to get more rainfall down towards the Oregon area. So that wherever that storm system goes, it kind of changes the entire forecast. Now looking at really close things right on the Pacific Northwest, here's western Idaho, here's Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and southwest British Columbia. This is looking at daily max 2-meter temperatures on the national blended models. So today and tomorrow looking like 70s and 80s potentially for western and eastern locations. On Tuesday, however, we look to start potentially getting up towards the low 90s in the Portland and Willamette Valley locations and the Columbia Basin as that ridge builds in. But we look to quickly cool down as that first week frontal system starts to move through on Wednesday, bringing those cooler temperatures. And the same as we go through later this week. I bet the humidity is going to be a little bit higher over the next few days as that atmospheric river kind of dies out and moves towards our region by Wednesday. So it may feel a little muggy on some of those days. Now looking down at California, generally no rain is expected down there, but the temperatures will be the main story as temperatures get well into the 90s and low 100s for the Sacramento Valley, and definitely for those desert regions as that ridge of high pressure builds over the southwest United States. They look to cool down. You guys look to cool down, though, by later on Wednesday and the Thursday with temperatures getting down to the low 90s finally. So a little bit of relief coming in the next few days. Now looking at this jumble map of things. This is for the Whidbey Island Naval Air Station. So this is basically looking at all 50 members of the European ensemble. So basically all 50 of these members kind of run through their own forecasts, like just the regular European model that I look at the most with you guys. So each of these runs are slightly there's variations made in the initial forecasting process. So there's different data for each of these, and this basically gives us an idea on how maybe our original data is messed up a bit. We can get a good idea of how things would change if the data is actually different. So this gives us a wide variety of things. And you can see generally the average of all the models is generally looking in the 30, maybe 40 mile per hour wind range for gusts on Thursday morning, which actually happens to be around my birthday time frame. So this is that's why I'm keeping an extra close eye on this storm, because if I get a windstorm on my birthday, then that's going to be kind of exciting. But you can see, if we look a little closely, there's a couple members that have these brighter colors. These are 4 of these models are showing gusts over 70 miles per hour, up towards hurricane force wind gusts. Even one showing 82 miles per hour. This is why I'm keeping a close eye on this, because there's still a couple members out there showing that potential for there to be a major windstorm for parts of the region. Those are on the low side of the guidance. Most of the guidance only shows breezy to gusty winds, that's the most likely scenario. But if one of these stronger outcomes does happen, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But this is kind of a good look at things. And Seattle would also be very similar to this, mainly maybe some breezy winds, but there is a couple stronger windstorm scenarios. So now looking at a very nice fall graphic from the National Weather Service of Spokane, Washington. They always make wonderful graphics out there. And this is the forecast for the inland Pacific Northwest for the next 7 days. You can see mainly just partly cloudy with maybe a chance of showers later this evening in the Cascades. By Wednesday, a chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms, also some gusty winds as that first frontal system moves through. Potential for some breezy winds and more rain showers as we go through Thursday and Friday for eastern Washington, Oregon, and western Idaho. And possible AM frost also later this weekend out there for some of those higher terrains. It's getting to that time of year where they can start getting frost out there. Now look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This is for September 27th. That's this coming Thursday and through October 1st, which is the Tuesday after next. And generally below average temperatures for the northwest, the Pacific Northwest. Above average temperatures for the southwestern United States as that ridge kind of builds in. Most of these storm systems are going to be trending to the north, as we saw. Near normal to below normal precipitation expected for much of the west coast, as the storm systems don't look to be super heavy in rainfall. Most of that rainfall is going in the British Columbia, but near normal this time of the year can be a good bit of rainfall, which we saw on some of them all. So definitely going to be keeping an eye out for that storm system over the next few days. Well, everyone, that's it for this video. I hope everybody found this forecast enjoyable and informative. I'll likely do another video on Tuesday or Wednesday if we're looking at potential for a more stormy scenario, or if something else drastically changes in the weather forecast for the end of the week. If not, I'll likely do another video next weekend looking at the weather as we go into early October. So as we get farther in the fall, I'm definitely continuing to keep the eye out for storm systems and stuff. This is the time of the year where things start to ramp up. And if you want to stay notified on when I post those videos, just hit that little bell icon down below this video. That will allow you to get notifications when I post a new video. That way you can see it right away. And when when all the data and stuff is fresh off the press. Also hit that like button, subscribe button down below if you guys are enjoying these videos. I love making these videos, and hitting the like button, subscribing just helps get the YouTube algorithm just kind of push my video out to more people. And that just helps grow my channel as I want to eventually get monetized later this winter, so I can maybe make some money off of these videos, but I enjoy doing them for free anyways. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I'll talk to everybody in the next forecast video.